Welcome to the Strange Files, where reflection becomes emergence, taking ordinary things and spiraling them into life principles, metaphors, and new perspectives on possibility, seeing life from new angles. Have you ever looked at an ordinary object and thought, that can teach me something? Such as, a whisk can become a reflection on connection. A train track can become a way of understanding progressive recurrence. Even your housework can reveal something about maintenance, rhythm, and life. This podcast is a place for spiraling life principles through ordinary things and for exploring the reflections, patterns, and perceptions that shape how we move through life. It's an exploration about noticing and about what becomes possible when we see from new angles. I often use ordinary things as metaphors because everyday life can carry more meaning than we first notice. It's less about giving answers and more about opening exploration from a different lens. It's not overthinking. It's evolving thought that can provoke new perspectives. Awareness can refine expression. So hold on to your seats. This ride could get a little weird. I'm Lisa. Welcome to the Strange Files. Well, what actually is a mudskipper? It's a very strange little thing, really. Looks like a fish, acts like it forgot whether it belongs in the water or on the land. And honestly, that's relatable. Because the more I looked at this weird little creature flopping around in confusion, the more I realized humans do exactly the same thing. As we move through life, we adapt ourselves to fit where we are. Different environments, different relationships, different friendship groups, different workplaces, and different versions of ourselves awkwardly trying to fit into spaces that don't fully feel natural. A bit like an emotional mudskipper just dragging ourselves through life, going, I am adapting beautifully. Meanwhile, internally, absolute confusion. And I think we do this because humans naturally want acceptance. We want connection. We want belonging. So we adjust. We soften parts of ourselves. We hide parts of ourselves. We evolve behaviors that help us survive certain environments. And honestly, sometimes that adaptation becomes so automatic we stop noticing how much of ourselves we abandoned along the way. Because adaptation can absolutely be healthy. But there is a difference between learning how to survive new environments and completely disconnecting from yourself trying to fit into them. And that's where the mudskipper reflection gets interesting. Because the mudskipper didn't stop being itself just because it adapted. It simply learned how to move differently depending on the environment it was in. Which honestly feels like one of the biggest lessons us as humans struggle with. Because a lot of us were taught adaptation means become whatever the environment needs you to be. But maybe healthy adaptation is actually learning how to move through different environments without abandoning who you are within them. Because some of us have spent years emotionally shape-shifting like exhausted little amphibious goblins just trying to survive social interaction. And maybe our evolution was never about becoming someone completely different from our core identity. Maybe it was about learning how to adapt while still remaining connected to ourselves underneath it all. Because adaptation without losing yourself creates the freedom we're always searching for, but often struggle to maintain. So maybe take a moment to reflect on your own adaptations. Where have you changed yourself just to survive an environment? Where have you softened parts of yourself trying to belong? Where have you emotionally shape-shifted so much that you stopped recognizing your own needs underneath it all? And where might you now be learning how to adapt without abandoning yourself in the process? Because we evolve too. But healthy evolution shouldn't require losing every part of yourself just to fit somewhere you were never truly comfortable in. And honestly, maybe the Mudskipper wasn't confused after all. Maybe it simply learned how to survive in more than one world. Because maybe adaptation was never supposed to mean abandoning yourself completely. Maybe it was supposed to mean learning how to move through different environments while still remaining connected to who you are underneath it all. We will pick this up again soon, and I will see you there.